Someone always says something right before we go live. We're live. Awesome. Tonight we have, we're back. It's AHTV and Friends again, and we're gonna touch on the. We can give our preview for the Leicester match on Wednesday, and I have a massive theory on that, which is going to be great. But before we jump into things, I do got to mention that Alex, the guy that was on last night, has been doing an excellent job in our shop, our online store. He also created an online store for all the people in the UK who had a issue with duties and taxes. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. We found a retailer in the UK to alleviate all that, and the shipping will be quicker as well. And so a lot of this, the same designs. But anyway, it's on our new website, which is scrolling down below here. It's AmericanHammers.net. There's still the threadless shop, which has got all the supporters groups logos, and the supporters groups, they get 50% of the profit. So just remember that when you're purchasing something, or you're at least looking around to buy something, if you have any ties to, Boston, like David down here, or say Philly or Houston, Texas, or even Appalachian Hammers. There's, Arkansas. There's so many different groups in our online shop. So anything that you buy from them in the shop, they get 50% of that. And we also got some regular cool designs that just help out the channel. So if you don't feel like, donating to the good cause, you just buy something, and that technically donates to the good cause. Speaking of good cause, there's a good friend of the show. He's down with the Alamo City Hammers, and poor guy was away on job training and away from his home, and his home burnt down. So he lost everything, including a lot of his West Ham jerseys and, a lot of goods, personal items and such. So he's got a little GoFundMe going on. Just look at our social media, especially our Twitter page, because I have it pinned at the top. The link to his GoFundMe. He's only asking for it's not that much, just to get him back on his feet. And I think I think it's at like 350 out of the $1,500 that he's asking. It helps out a friend of the show. We really appreciate it if anybody can do anything. Doesn't matter if it's $1. Doesn't matter if it's more. I mean, there's a couple people that donated $100. That was awesome to see. So anyway, take a look at that. Tomorrow night we're going to be the interviews are coming back. So for those who've been asking about our interviews, we're going to be interviewing Mark from Columbus E13. They have a podcast as well. He's the co-host of that with Kevin. His name's Mark from Columbus, Ohio. That'll be a good interview. And then on Wednesday, Lee and I will be interviewing a gentleman from Arkansas who's trying to start up a group down there. So that'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, below me here is Tony. You're always beneath me.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's on purpose now.
Irish Tommy from a good friend that we met on Twitter, and he's all over the place though. He's on Instagram now too, so that's neat. And we have David from Boston down in the opposite corner, and above him we got next to me we got Ray. Ray's all over the place. Ray's in Liverpool. He's down in London watching the matches. He's having a little too much fun after the match.
I was so drunk. I looked at it, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, but I think. Did you say that you're gonna be our host tomorrow night too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think no, but not to put you on the spot. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is something a little different. Usually, what we do is we'll go around the circle and just discuss some topics, current events, all that good stuff, and then we find ourselves doing hammers polls at the end, and it becomes redundant. So what we decided to do is start off with the hammers polls this evening, and our good friends over there. Check them out at hammerspolls.com or at hammerspolls on Twitter. And the first one this evening, we'll start with Ray, and then we'll just go counterclockwise. Yeah. Ray, who would you like to see a layer partner with against Leicester? And for everybody watching, I know the guys last night on the Weekend Review show already went over this, but you got 4 new opinions tonight, so that's what we're going to do. Would you rather see Lanzini, Ayeti, Fornals, or Antonio partnered up with Allaire against Leicester?
Well, after watching the game the other night, I would drop Allaire because I thought he had an absolutely shocking game. I really did. So I would probably drop Allaire and put Antonio Lanzini up there. But since that is not the case, I have to pick one. It's got to be Antonio for me because that's the only one that's going to be giving it a lot more energy. Even though I didn't think Lanzini did anything wrong and he was getting better, but it's got to be Antonio because of just his crazy pace and you don't know what you're getting with him.
Yeah. Well, I forgot that when I pull up the screen here, the circle goes away and we just totem pole. So I guess I'll go next. Yeah, listen, I agree with you, Ray, as much as I think Antonio is injury prone and he has his moments and that's about it. I think Antonio is probably the smartest option if they're going to go with 2 strikers out of this bunch or this crew. Yeah, he showed some fight, at the end of the last match, but like literally,
well, lucky to get a red card.
Yeah, literally. But nah, man, Antonio definitely brings a little something, but I just don't want to see the guy on the pitch. I don't. It's kind of like Dana White, telling Chuck Liddell, listen, man, I just don't want to see you take any more punches. Your game's done. I don't want to see you go out there and make an ass of yourself or get yourself hurt anymore. Antonio, I just don't want to see him get hurt again. That's my biggest gripe is I'd rather see him take some more time off and be 1,000,000% than go out there at 60 or 70% and hurt himself again, which is always the case with our guys. So anyway, Antonio for me. Tommy.
Yeah, Antonio, he's just become injury prone now, and I just feel like if we start to get against Leicester, we're just kind of rushing him back into the team straight away again. The worry is that he'll break down either in this game or in the next game. If Antonio was 100% fit, I wouldn't have any kind of hesitation putting him up there with Allaire. Like I say, he shows a lot of energy and he does trouble defenders, and he will score the odd goal as well. So if he was 100%, yeah, but I think for this game, given that he's just back again, I don't think I'd risk starting Antonio on this one. So I would actually, I wouldn't have Lanzini in the team. In fact, if we're going with the formation that we used against Everton, I would drop Lanzini and replace him with Ajeti. Ajeti probably did more in the 10 minutes he was on than Lanzini did for the previous 80. So he looked lively. He looked like he was up for it. He was trying to get involved in everything. So, and I don't think Ajeti's ever actually had a fair crack of the whip. It's been given little cameos here and there for a few minutes, and there's some West Ham fans that are writing him off already. We haven't really seen him properly. Like, I'd love to see him get a 90 minutes up alongside Allaire and just see if they can form some kind of a partnership. So, for all things, given what we know about Antonio and his issues, I would drop Lanzini for this one and play Ajeti up top with Allaire.
You're right. It's just the problem is with Lanzini and with Antonio, especially Antonio, it's favorites. There's a lot of fans, especially on social media. I mean, there's fans who really, pay attention and give a shit. And then there's also fans that just want to see their team win and they have their favorite players, et cetera, et cetera. And Lanzini is one of those guys that, he did great for us in the 15-16 season. And people will never forget that. And they just love him to death forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And then same thing with Antonio. I mean, it's not what you've done for me lately. It's just, oh my God, he's my favorite. He's so nice to have around. Oh my God, I love him. Okay, but does that really help the team that you love him? You know what I mean? So anyway, David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting what Tommy said. If he's match fit, I would still go with Antonio. He just adds a new dimension. He adds a bit of pace, a bit of power, and I think we need to pace, just because Leicester's a pacey side too. We need a way to stretch them, especially since we only have one real striker. I agree with Tommy, though. I wouldn't be opposed to removing Lanzini from the lineup. He just doesn't seem to be at his best right now. He just doesn't seem to be fitting in with the system we have.
Doesn't look like it cares.
I would be opposed to benching Lanzini, starting with Fornals, and have Antonio and Ajeti in if possible. What I do think this shows, though, is just we don't have striker depth. It's kind of like a catch-22. Ajeti is the only other striker, but is he good enough to where he can play a majority of the matches to where he can even start to see his full potential? So it's just kind of a bummer of a situation, but I would go with Antonio to start if he is match fit.
Yeah, and
there's only one way to find out about Ajeti. There's only one way. You put him in.
I actually agree with that.
Give him a game and play him, you know.
We haven't even got to see what he can really do because he hasn't got enough minutes under his belt. And Fornals was very poor when he first started. He just needed to get his feet wet. And once he got those matches under his belt, I think he's come good. So obviously he's a better player than Ajeti, but I think Ajeti could find his footing if given enough time.
Yeah,
enough minutes.
Yeah, it's we've seen him against Newport, right? And did he play against Oxford too? I mean, I know he had some cup minutes. That was really about it.
I didn't see the Oxford match. That's one of the few matches I missed, but I believe
I'm not sure about that.
Minutes there, but his actual number of Premier League minutes is very, very small. So
yeah,
he hasn't really gotten.
Does he even have a full match yet?
No, I don't think he has, like the minutes in total. I don't think add up to a full match. I could be wrong.
No, I mean it's got to be close or something. Yeah, damn close.
Yeah.
And I think we do have to go actually 2 up top against Leicester. Burnley and Southampton recently had a lot of joy against them playing 2 up top. You know, and I think you can get at their backline if you're brave enough to go 2 up top against them. So I really hope Moyes is brave enough to do it and has watched those 180 minutes, those 2 games with Southampton and Burnley that they played, because they troubled them. And Burnley beat them at the weekend with 2 up top.
So this is for what I like to say, you know, shits and giggles. I'm pretty damn sure that out of the 616 people that voted, I'd say more than half, you know, picked out of their heart and not, you know, necessarily their brain. Antonio, yep, 59% said Antonio. Out of 617 votes, that's pretty good. It's above average for them, for Hammer's poll.
Yeah.
So, but 32% say Ajeti, man. That's okay. That's logical for me. All right, so the next one, this is kind of fun, and we'll start with David and go up. Who would you rather see start against Leicester? Partner with Ogbonna against Leicester, Balbuena or Diop?
I'm going to go 100% very strongly with Diop. He had an outstanding performance at the weekend at Everton. I've always wondered why they didn't pair Ogbonna and Diop more, and why Pellegrini went with the Balbuena-Ogbonna partnership. They didn't seem to have any problems together in the previous match. Albeit Everton were really poor. They had a lot of misplaced passes. Richarlison was injured, so their attacking threat wasn't really there. But I definitely go with Diop.
Tommy.
Yeah, I agree with David there. It's got to be Diop for this game. I think, you know, we paid a lot of money for him, and he's young, and we've got to let him develop into the player we believe he can be, and that means just starting him ahead of Balbuena. Plus, I think tactically it's the right thing to do. You know, Verdi will be back for this game. I believe he was out, missed a couple of games because of the birth of his child, but I think he's back for our game. And he is always looking to run in behind. If he does that against Balbuena, he's not catching him. I think we need pace back there from our centre backs for this game. They're always trying to look for runners in behind Leicester, and we've got to have centre backs in there that can go with those runners, that can run with Verdi in behind. If he does make one of those runs, Diop and Ogbonna are both pretty quick, and they can get back in. I think Balbuena will be skinned alive with those runs. He won't be able to get back in. I mean, we saw him trying to turn, you know, that David Martin bad kick out. We saw, you know, he turned like he was a bloody a ship or something. It was, so I think definitely we got to go with Diop on this one.
Yeah. I reluctantly agree. I think Diop is just I don't know how to put this. When you guys were talking about how why they didn't really partner him enough with Ogbonna in the past, and especially last season too, it was mainly because he was super inconsistent and he's still very young. You know what I mean? He's still very young. He's raw, very raw. And he reminds me of Antonio when it comes down to talent. It's like he's got some there. He's raw. He's not 100% the same all the time. He's not super technical. And Balbuena is a rock. I mean, he's not a rock as much as you know what you're getting with him. I mean, every game. I mean, yeah, he made that blunder. I mean, but that's not something that he would typically do all the time. That's what shocked me about the Balbuena shipwreck, or you want to call it. But yeah, I'll say Diop, but reluctantly, because I think that I think they mentioned this last night in the show that Balbuena scored against Leicester last season. And that's, I think it was from, I don't know if it was from a set piece or not, whatever the case may be, but he's got a goal against them. I don't know. Diop, I don't know.
That's almost guaranteed to be from a corner, really, yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But anyway, we'll get into my little theory one of these next questions. But Ray, what do you think, Balbuena or Diop?
Well, I've got to toe the line and say Diop as well because he scored at the weekend. So he's got a bit more confidence than that. However, and this is the controversial one, I would sell Ogbonna. I'd get rid of him, just sell him. And the reason why I would sell him, because his stock is really high at the moment.
Really?
Yeah. I would sell him.
He's like 57 years old.
No, he's still pretty young. I think he's like 27 or 28.
No
He
chance.
was young when he was with you.
Check his ID. No way.
I reckon
right
he's
now.
30.
He's got a Venezuelan ID, doesn't he?
Someone quickly check. But I would sell Ogbonna now in the January transfer window, get as much money as we possibly can for him to put towards a new midfielder or new centre back, someone with it, and I would partner Diop and Balbuena together. So, and that's what I think. I really don't. I don't overly rate Ogbonna. I think he's all right, but I don't think he's as good as everyone's saying. I think he's just having a good period, and that's why
I was completely wrong. He's 31 years old.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I know this because he's roughly the same age as James Tompkins, and that's
How many minutes was that? 17?
18 minutes. So I remember they were close in age, and that's why I was shocked that anyway, they kept him around.
You're not going to get much money for him after this season.
The same with Antonio.
Not in the January transfer window, but to trade him, have him be signed by someone else in the summer, I think that would be a good bit of business for us.
Do you think, besides like a Burnley or besides a bottom half club, I mean, who won't have that much money to spend on him, you think we get any money for him though?
I think we'd sell him to the Serie A club. He's played there before. I think the way he plays fits the way the Serie A plays.
I agree with that.
I think we can do that.
Clubs are after him, aren't they?
You'd sell him. Yeah, you'd sell him back home to Italy, no problem at all.
Yeah,
and they don't care. Clubs in Italy, they don't care if he's 31. That doesn't bother them one bit.
That's not old.
In Italy, for an Italian centre back, like they play into 34, 35 regularly. It's normal for them.
Yeah,
they don't consider that age to be a problem.
Anyway, so this AJ from Kiwi Hammers here says if it was possible to have both, and Balbuena and Diop both.
And that's what I would do.
And Angela restored, but alas, Leicester City would destroy us, I fear. Yeah, that's right. Good point. All right, so 91% out of 262 votes said Diop. And again, this case is what have you done for me lately? And everybody still has that blunder, Balbuena's blunder, and fresh in their mind, and Diop's goal. I mean, what has Diop done before that, though? What has he done all season long? I mean, really nothing. So, I mean, again, this is where it comes down to. Now, if we play him against Leicester, does Vardy fucking eat him up and destroy him, and then Can we go again? Is typical inconsistency with him,
Yeah,
or is he going to shine?
yeah.
I don't know.
I guarantee you, if we were to play Balbuena in this one, Vardy would be straight onto him. He'd move straight onto him. He'd keep away from Ogbonna. He'd be straight onto Balbuena, spinning in behind every chance he gets.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I think Diop might be out of position more than Balbuena does, but right now Diop is a better center back to deal with the likes of Vardy.
Do you think Moyes is smart enough to go with the 4-4-2 type of deal against, kind of like you were saying, Tommy, where, the two strikers against Leicester have not worked out for Leicester the last few games, or do you think David Moyes is looking at the offense of Leicester and saying, you know what, I probably need 3 in the back?
I don't think he'll go 3 at the back purely because he would have to play Zabaleta as a wing back, and that's just nothing but trouble.
I just spit my coffee.
As well as the fact that Zabaleta played 90 minutes on Saturday, it's just no way he'll be able to get up and down the wing again on Wednesday. So I think with Zabaleta there until your buddy Fredericks is back, Tim, I don't think he can play with wing backs at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it would mean chucking that youngster in. I can't pronounce his name, but I don't think he's going to chuck a youngster in this game away at Leicester. So I think he's kind of forced into a flat back 4. So, but whether or not he plays 2 up top is another question. I strongly suspect he'll just do the same thing again with Lanzini in the number 10 role.
Probably. That one's already done. So just hey, look who it is. The guys from last night. All right. So you guys, predictions real quick. You think let's go with rain and go down. West Ham win. No scores needed. I mean, you can if you want to get elaborate. West Ham win, Leicester win, score, draw, or goalless.
I can't see us winning at the moment. It's a real struggle for us. I can see a draw. But just watching the game live the other night, it's very hard for the confidence to be there. Hopefully the draw has picked up a confidence and the point, because you saw Rice afterwards saying you got to respect the point. You got to respect the point. Sounded like Sam Allardyce. And, so I reckon it's going to be a draw because, again, I didn't think Leicester played that well the other day against
Burnley.
Southampton and Burnley. Yeah. So we've got one more point than they do in the last 2 games.
So I would say a draw.
Score, draw, goalless. What?
Let's go score, draw.
Right on. All right. Well, I'm going to say West Ham win. And this is because I am predicting that Leicester, and I have a coworker that he's fond of Leicester City, and he's not really knowledgeable about soccer. He's not really into soccer, but he knows he has a family friend or something like that who's from Leicester and loves Leicester. And I've been trying. I got the guy to actually put a West Ham sticker on the back of his truck, which is kind of cool. So I'm trying to convert him, but he's still got that love for Leicester. So I've been telling him over and over again that since before Christmas, I said, what's going to happen is that, this is how Premier League works. You'll see someone like with the rock bottom, get out, and that's Watford right now. I mean, they are on a tear. I mean, they're flying out of the bottom. They were in the bottom, the absolute rock bottom, and now they're not there anymore, not even close. But yet the points are so close. Same thing with the top. Two more losses, and Leicester could be out of the top 3. And they could be in 4th place and stuff like that. I mean, they did a good job. But Brendan Rodgers is just, other than Celtic, he's not really up for. How do I put it? The best way to put it is I'm predicting that they finish in the bottom half of the table, and they're going to go on a string of losses, and Brendan Rodgers will be sacked before the end of the season, because when they start losing, they'll start losing confidence in Brendan Rodgers, and he's a piece of dog shit, and I think he'll end up getting fired. So anyway, West Ham win, and I think convincingly. I think we're going to completely embarrass them, and it's just going to start the not even start, because they beat Southampton 9-0 and they lost 2-1. You know what I'm saying? And then they didn't have Jimmy Vardy, but it doesn't matter. Like the hole is dug. You know, now are they going to trip over it and fall even deeper? You know, right in their face. I think so. So I think we're going to smash them really bad. And anyway, Tommy, what do you think?
Yeah, a month ago I'd have said we've got no chance, but Leicester are really having a bad wobble right now.
They have no depth. Sorry, the one thing I meant to say was that they are a team that if they don't have a Vardy, this is what happens. They lose 2 matches in a row. They have no depth. They have a great starting 11, and they play well together, better than most teams in this whole league, obviously. But no, I mean, it's just they're bound to get injuries between now and the end of the season, and that's why I'm saying that it's fucking downhill for them. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, as I said, I think a month ago I'd have said we've got no chance, but they're definitely their form has dipped quite dramatically since then, and they were deservedly lost at Turf Moor at the weekend. So I'm a lot more actually hopeful going into this game than I would have been a month ago. Apart from our own form has picked up a bit, albeit we're not really getting the wins we need. But so I think this is a game we can possibly get something from. Obviously, Vardy being back kind of changes things a little bit. If he wasn't playing, I'd be actually very hopeful. But I think Leicester are going to score. So we're going to have to get a couple of goals, I think, to have a real chance of getting something out of this. I like Tim's optimism that we can turn them over and have a little bit of a shock result. We're definitely capable of it. But it's still going to be tough up there. I think we're going to need to score 2 goals to get something out of that. And do we score 2 goals up there is the question. But I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say that we can get a score draw out of this. I'm not as scared of them as I was a month ago. So we're playing a lot better. We're maybe not getting the wins, as I said, not maybe scoring as many goals as we should be. But we're definitely playing much better than we were. There's much more energy in the team and stuff. So I'm going to go score draw on this.
All right. David disappeared. So I guess we'll just huh?
He was like, I'm out. I don't want to talk about this one.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know what happened to David. But so we got 2 score draws. I'll just say score draw. Leicester, wow, a lot of fucking negative Nancy's on there. That's 596 votes too. They're not looking at the fucking they're not looking at anything except what we're doing. Maybe they're not looking at Leicester's last few matches and the fact that Vardy has not been playing well recently. I mean, he obviously has some time off too, but I don't know. I just maybe he's just it's rough. I don't know. Maybe he's not going to do better.
Maybe it's because the had a lack of confidence in the team at the moment.
There's just something. I feel that core of negativity. There's just something floating in the air that was stuck in West Ham. Since we had Pellegrini, I think is floating over there in Leicester. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, most teams will have a bit of a wobble at some point in the season. They were never going to keep going right to the finish. So they're having their wobble for whatever reason, whether it will prove to be a longer term thing or it's just the kind of temporary thing, and they'll get back on track.
But this is
either way, this is a good time to play them for us.
100%. Yeah, I think the tables are going to turn for us. I really do, and it's one of those things where a lot of people are saying, they were comparing our board to their board and saying how they've spent wisely, blah 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 blah. And it's been proven, in the table so far. But again, it's a full 38 game season, and I'm telling you that they have not spent wisely. They're just like us. They have no depth. No depth.
It's the Derby County shirt. This one.
What's that?
And yeah, it's just an average shirt in terms of design.
Who's doing that?
Is there a video on there somewhere on the Hammers polls or what?
No.
Just started playing. Getting some.
What's going on?
What the
fuck is that? It's a ghost.
Oh, somebody called the Ghost Brothers.
No. There's nothing on that That's bizarre, man. Wow. Anyway,
That's weird.
What have you got open, Tim?
no, nothing, dude. No, I swear to God. Usually there'll be like a little
Oh, no,
microphone. Anyway, would you have Victor Moses back from Chelsea? Yes on loan. Yes buy him. No. Let's just keep it simple. No.
No,
No.
that's a bizarre one. I don't know where that's come from.
Yes on loan. 53%. Well, only 96 votes. It's fresh. It was only posted an hour ago. Yeah, where did this come from? Is there a link or something going on? Is someone?
There is rumours that we're after a left back, right back, centre mid, and striker in there.
Yeah, but that's kind of out of left field, isn't it?
Yeah.
Moses back. I mean, why not Carl Jenkinson? You know what I mean? I mean, if we're going that route, you know.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him than well, I can't say rather have him than Zabaleta because Zabaleta played amazing. I thought he did great against Everton. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a really good game.
Well, let's see if there's anything. I'm done with this.
Just hope he can do another 90 minutes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, anybody got anything? Anybody got anything in the chat room that you want us to talk about tonight?
Do you think we are going to end up signing absolutely no one?
Oh, yeah. What was that thing I saw on Facebook, man? I swear to God, someone NAWON and then ATAL. And I'm like, this guy from Italy or something. No, from Germany, the midfielder from the Bundesliga. 25 mil bid accepted for this guy. It's his first name is NAWON. His last name is ATAL. So I'm a fucking idiot. And I Googled it. And I'm like, no one at all. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Because I'm like, why isn't this name popping up? There's no place fucking this going on here. We're signing no one at all. Yeah, no shit. So we're not signing anyone at all.
I remember a couple of years back, Sky Sports got badly burned by one of those. It was hilarious. Some guy posted that Aberdeen had signed a guy called Yerda Selzavan. When you read it properly, it's Yerda Selzavan. And they put that up. They had it on Sky Sports News. Aberdeen had just signed Yerda Selzavan.
Wait, didn't that happen to Gonzo recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gonzo's always getting caught by people's names.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to catch Gonzo. Did you hear about this new goalkeeper? Yeah. Big fella from Genk arrived. I thought we Fushizi also says that I think there's a rumor that we have a bid for Barge, whatever his name is, and from Genk. And I thought we were out of the running for sure. I mean, I thought that was announced. Like X or somebody said that no, we're not even close. So
I think there's a lot of people clutching at straws on that one. I don't know how this Sander Berge thing got us the legs that it did. I'm not aware that we've shown any particular interest in him. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you.
Rich
all shut up.
Like the question, he just said, "Fuck it, I'm out."
No. I had to wait for it to restart and everything, and the camera to back up. So I apologize.
No, thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
we're running out of things to say.
No, it's actually incredible how quiet the ITKs have been. Since the Fernandez deal kind of collapsed. It just doesn't. And I mean, X hasn't been saying anything about anyone being linked or being approached or being looked at. It's very, very quiet, which means Miles will probably sign another one of his brother's players from Preston on deadline day.
Yeah, let's.
They still keep saying about Giroud, but
I don't think Chelsea send us a player.
Why would they? Well, that's just Hammer's news. But report claims that they have lodged a bid with Genk for the Sander Berge. So I guess it's back up again. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, a lot of those are just lazy journalism. They have to write something.
Oh, no, 100%. I mean, if Lee was on the show, he'd tell you right now, never believe the British press. Yeah, it's all bullshit. But What's this? Door opens for 90,000 a week.
That's
Striker. Oh, Giroud.
I swear to God,
No, thank you.
if we sign Giroud and pay that fucking gimp 90 grand a week, I'm going to lose it.
Oh yeah. I think.
It's a waste of money.
Oh God, he sucks, dude. He hasn't scored a goal in like fucking too long.
Yeah,
Dude,
think,
I pulled up a stat.
Inter are looking at him too, so I bet he'll sign
Why?
that.
Fuck that. I mean, why? It's so stupid. It's like Angelo Ogbonna has scored more goals than Olivier Giroud in the last 3 Premier League seasons. I'm not joking. I pulled up that stat maybe like 3 weeks ago. I said, listen, if we ever do that, I'm pissed. Literally, Ogbonna has scored more goals than him. Let's put him up top. Save some money. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
or sign James Collins and just put him up top too. With fucking 2 beasts up there.
I'd rather bring Xander Silva into the side and just than do that.
Again, I mean, what our luck with these people that I mean, doesn't he? Is he going to be one of those guys that ends up injury prone as well? You think? I mean, he's having these issues early on in his career, no?
But because he's having them young, he can recover easier, can't he?
Yeah.
So,
but
he gets them out.
I don't know anything about Lazaro,
injuries could be
actually.
mental. You know, I don't know. Most of the time, are mental issues.
Yeah, where is Wilshere?
Where's Wilshere? yeah.
I really don't know. He can jump out of a washing machine, but he can't get on the subs bench. Come on. Something's not right there, is it?
There's just nothing in the news.
No, it's so quiet, Tim, isn't it?
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
Well, sorry, guys. If anybody in the chat room has anything interesting to discuss.
Do you guys know what's happening with Dean Garner? Because I've missed it. But I'm hearing stuff in the background.
About
I think we can't.
No, didn't he get? Sorry. Did Dean Garner get injured tonight in the game?
I don't know. I know it was a draw. That's all I know. I don't know if he got injured or not.
Let me see if I can find anything quickly.
Me too. I'm worried about my computer crashing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I haven't heard anything about.
This is the most dead air I've ever had in my life in this whole show.
Yeah.
The history of the show. But again, this is just typical fucking West Ham.
Yeah, it says big blow for West Ham's hopes of Grady Giandana's recall as Starr is injured 2 minutes into the match.
Oh,
So it looks like he is in fact injured.
Well, I wouldn't have recalled him anyway.
Says Hammers News.
Never.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where's he going to
God,
play?
what are you doing?
Is it?
Claire,
not
you.
them. Who put that up?
Fucking Ray.
Ray, get those bored shills off the fucking screen, will you?
Deep relief. What's this?
What is it?
That's more entertaining than the article.
Why is Ray getting these ads?
Custom yoga pants leggings. What are you Googling yoga pants?
Ray's leading a secret life.
Oh, shit.
Ray, this is not the time for purchases, okay? We're focused, man. Jeez.
Yoga pants and deep relief. Oh, boy. Inflammatory gel.
I have no idea why they're coming up.
Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, you zoom out. Yeah, zoom in, whatever. I can't read that, dude. What does it say?
Big blow for Hammers.
Hamstring.
Fails again? Hamstring strain, it says.
Yeah, hamstring, yeah. Oh, Sean. I mean, half the time, the stuff that he comes up with for Claire and Hugh is just fucking weird. But I love, I mean, he's a great guy. Sean Whetstone, I mean, we had him on the show. We interviewed him. He was gracious enough to join us, so I can't talk shit. That's it. Just a hamstring pull and nothing. So that's like a 3-4 week issue.
But
Yeah, I doubt we would have brought him back anyway, to be honest.
also on a different subject, they were quite nice leggings, though, weren't they?
Yes. That happened to me before. So me and Lee both share access to our Twitter account, and for whatever reason, like the trending topics based off of what's searched or whatever on Twitter. One night I pulled up our Twitter to do some Hammers polls, and everybody in the chat room, I didn't realize it because I wasn't paying attention to the chat room at that time. We're all talking about all these trending topics for you. It says trending for you. And I think it was like Dick Sweat, who's a politician, by the way. He's a politician. That's his name. Google it. It's crazy. And there was a couple other weird things in there, too, that people were like, what's up with this? And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Then I saw the trending for you, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know. But anyway, so do you think that the board have told the ITK not to spill the beans on any of the deals? Do you guys think that? Go around the circle there. Just everybody
I don't
shouts
think that
no.
at all. I think they don't want to spend a lot of money. They don't like spending a lot of money in the January transfer window historically. So shock me if they went against the grain. I think they've gotten David Moyes purposely to just keep us survive this year. I think that's the gamble they made. I think it's a pretty big gamble. It wouldn't be a big gamble if all our players stayed healthy. We'd probably just nudge it out. But if Haller goes down and you don't have any real striker besides Jetty who's healthy, I think that would be a pretty big disaster. We know Antonio can't stay healthy for a long period of time. So if Antonio and Haller are out, I could see us getting relegated. But I don't. Maybe a loan signing at midfield or a signing at midfield and a lone striker. I don't see them doing a lot.
Yeah.
I think they probably have got the feelers out, with the agents around the place. And if I know it's awful, it's ridiculous. But if they come up with something, they might do a loan deal for somebody.
But an agent would know better than a scout. So this is where I'm torn. Okay, I think that the January window is the absolute best time to buy, and it's because it just depends on your scouting system and also if you actually, what agents you're actually talking to and whatnot, because that's the time that the players are saying, shit, I'm not getting enough playing time. I'm miserable at my club. Get me out, agent. Get me out. Find me a club. I don't belong in the system. It's not working out. Get me out. Or a good enough scout could say, hey, I'm noticing that this guy isn't getting minutes over at this particular club. They have talent. We all know that this person has talent. We could probably get him for a deal because he's not even getting any minutes over X club or whatever. I mean, you'd think that this is the time to pull the players away from the clubs that they're not getting the playing time. They're not happy there, et cetera, et cetera. Like, why aren't there more deals being done? Like, that's what I'm saying is like in the summertime, people's contracts come to an end. They just want to move on. They want to make more money elsewhere, blah, blah, blah. It's all about the money. But in the January window, it's not about the money. It's about getting playing time. No?
Well, the players are there, yeah. I mean, don't make no mistake. The players are there and deals can be done. I just don't think they're too pushed about getting anyone in. I think more than anything, they probably feel like maybe we need to get a couple of signings in just to kind of keep the natives relatively happy. But other than that, I don't think they care really if they sign anyone or not in this window.
Let's go around again. So, Ray, do you think that maybe David Moyes, that was part of how he got the job this time around, was him saying, I don't need you to give me any money this January. I'm 100% happy with what I can make it work with what we got.
I don't think Moyes is that silly that he would back himself into a corner like that. Because
he's been out of work for a while, dude.
I think what he would have said is that I would like to have a look at the players first before I make a judgment call of where we need to spend the money. And if he's not telling the board that we need a centre midfielder, then more for him. And I just reckon the board either haven't got the money or they don't want to spend the money. That's my two things.
You don't think that it's something like the board is now back in action with their mouths again, and they have an opportunity now where David Moyes, they tell him flat out, we're not giving you any money. But what we're going to do is we're going to push these facades out there and all these, we're going to leak all these potential signings to keep the fans somewhat happy, saying that, well, at least we're looking. and we're trying to get these big players to end up at Tottenham and everywhere else in the world, and just not with us, because they had no intention of giving them the money that would take to sign them to begin with. So we were never going to get these players. But at least that's typical David Sullivan, though, isn't it? Like, remember we did that with the Caballero, or whatever the fuck his name was, or the guy from Sporting Portugal. Remember he emailed some shit.
Oh, Carvalho.
Yeah, Carvalho.
William Carvalho.
Never going to happen, but you just look. That's our target. We're going for it. Yeah.
No, I disagree with you a little bit. I would say the actual they've been a lot in the news to defend their record over the 10 years, coinciding with the protests, but. The reason it's so boring right now in this chat is because there actually haven't been that many players linked. I think Fernandez was one, and then there's been some Sander Berger shouts. There's been some Joe Allen shouts, but it's actually been very quiet. I don't even think they're dropping these fantastic.
It was Gabigol too. Remember?
Gabigol was
the first one.
That's true. That's a good point. I would imagine the way David Moyes sold himself for the job was, I kept us up last time. I got players who weren't motivated, such as Masuaku. Lanzini seemed more motivated under him. There were a few others whose names I can't remember. I can get them running. I can get them playing well, and we will avoid relegation.
Yeah.
I think that was his selling point, and he probably said, we only need 1 or 2 reinforcements in the January transfer window to achieve that goal.
Randolph. Yeah. Randolph plus
the last the
Victor Moses alone.
Oh, say it again, Ray?
I said we'll probably get to the last day of the transfer window, and then it'd be like, oh, we tried to get all these targets, but we couldn't get them, so we got Joe Allen.
That is, we don't even need Joe Allen. He's not the midfielder we need. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and I don't think David Moyes is pushing the issue. He's not putting them under any pressure to get some players in. He'll just, if they get some in, fine. If they don't, he won't make a fuss. He's just delighted to be West Ham manager. If they didn't get a single player in this window, he wouldn't complain to anyone. So, he's just happy to be there. And, he kind of backed himself into a little bit of a corner as well, because he came in and said, the players I have this time around are much better than what I had when I came in last time.
He did say that, yeah.
So he can't turn around to the board now, really, and say, need more players.
Yeah. So if we were to get relegated, then what? He can't say, well, we didn't spend in January. That's the reason why I didn't get my targets or whatnot, because like you said, he already said that much better squad than we had last time around, and he kept us up. So,
I think the board will make a signing, probably somebody, one of these agents will find some player for them that they can get on loan. They don't look like they want to pay money out, do they? Let's be honest. It looks like if you were going to pay money, you can buy players. There's no problem buying players if you're willing to spend money, but they're just not. They just want to get someone in on loan on the cheap, and we just have to hope they can find a decent player.
Which is why Barkley would never happen. I mean, because Barkley would cost too much on loan. That's the type of player. I don't even know why they even brought that up. I mean, that's a player that's going to cost you to loan.
Yeah. Barkley's a good player.
Yeah.
If you were to drop Lanzini out the team, put Barkley in there, you've got totally different. You've upgraded immediately.
100%.
Yeah, I'd say you upgraded your midfield.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy him. Yeah, loan, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
you never know. I mean, he also has an injury record too.
Yeah, but he should be fine now. He doesn't really play for Chelsea under Lampard, so he's only training. So he might be open to it too. I mean, if you think from Ross Barkley's point of view, they've got the Euros coming up. He'd love to, have a brilliant half season and maybe put himself back in the frame for a place in the squad. So I'm sure Barkley would come to us, no problem.
Do you think, and this is just throwing it out, the Chinese league, all the players that were on there, all their money and their loans fees, they're all going to be dropping down to 49,000. Do you reckon it's not worth going have a cheeky bid for someone like Oscar, where you can double his wages quite easily? And Oscar's only like 28, 29, isn't he? Or someone like that.
It would be interesting, but I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that. I mean, surely the current contracts have to be honoured, don't they?
I don't know. I don't know how long he's got left on his
I
contract.
don't think legally you can just rip someone's contract up and say, sorry, you're dropping down to 49k a week now. I
Maybe
think
you
contracts
can.
have to be.
Maybe you can in
Yeah.
China. Maybe
Who
they,
knows with the Chinese?
you
Yeah,
know.
I
No,
don't
every
think they
country's
care.
different. You never know. I mean, their laws and rules are different than ours and everybody else's. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really
But
know. Chinese
presumably, even in China, contracts have to be honored. I don't know.
law. Okay, well, fair enough.
Maybe you're
so.
right, Tim. Maybe
I don't know.
who knows? But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Look,
I don't know enough about the intricacies of Chinese contract law.
I don't either. But bottom line is,
Yeah.
I'd rather see an Oscar than a Fellaini. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, there's going to be an exodus of foreign players out of China real soon. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other problem is we've only got one scout working for us.
Yeah.
So our scouting network is shocking.
Yes, but David Sullivan assures us he's working very hard, Ray.
Oh,
Yeah,
they say
yeah.
that every year, working hard around the
He's
clock.
putting in the hours.
Around the
He
clock.
doesn't even leave his house, does he?
Oh, Jesus.
I wouldn't
He
if
leaves
I
his
had
house
it.
and goes to the Emirates Stadium. That's it. He's probably on Football Manager. Who can I get for cheap?
Actually, you know what? I'd trust that more than I trust him. I trust Football Manager more than I trust David Sullivan.
Yeah,
To be fair,
yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's just as well I'm not a West Ham scout. I tell you, we'll be signing a lot of players from like Cuba and Aruba and Bali.
Oh boy. All right. So, anybody else have anything besides Barkley in the chat room there? Or I see that came up a lot tonight. People talking about Barkley, how we'd love to have him, but it ain't probably gonna happen. Yeah. Should we have sold? Yeah. Well, all right. So Tebow, one of our good friends, is asking, it's a hindsight question, guys, so don't get too excited. But should we have sold Kouyate, Fernandez, Obiang, Byram, and Chicharito with hindsight?
Some
Anybody?
yes and some no. Yeah, Obiang, I didn't really bring much to the team. I had no problem selling.
not at
The
all.
problem hasn't been selling the players that we've sold mostly. It's been that we haven't strengthened. You know, when you sell a player, you'd like to think maybe we can get someone in who's going to be a little bit better coming off the bench, but we haven't done that. I mean, if you just took one look at the bench on Saturday, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know,
Yeah.
we had one kind of honest to high attacking player, and that was Ajeti. You know, with a keeper and with 3 backs and Masuaku. It was like, you know, there was just nothing there. So
But the thing that we
the
keep
only,
talking
the
about
only
a lot,
one I think, yeah, the only one I think maybe I'd really like to have had still around this season was maybe Chicharito.
yeah,
I think
or
he could have.
Prez
Yeah,
scoring
I-
goals, man. You know, that guy just
Yeah.
knew where to be. You know, he didn't
Yeah.
get enough playing time.
I totally
Either
agree.
one of those up top with Hilaire, say, you know, the 2 up top with Hilaire.
Yeah.
If you'd have put those 2 up top, say Chicharito and Hilaire, they could have really played well together as a pair. They would have suited each other, I think. You know, kind of. But yeah, we just hollowed out the squad so that they could get some money in for transfers to bring their net spend down as low as possible, and get lots of wages off the budget. So they just completely hollowed out the team, and then we're suffering for it.
Yeah, Essex Hammer is saying that surely there must be some outstanding talent in the championship in this center midfield position. That's tricky. So basically, anybody that you would think, especially in January, I mean, these clubs down there are trying to get back up to the Premier League. If they have anybody worth anything, they're going to ask for a lot of money for them, probably more than they're worth. I mean, someone like Jared Bowen, right, Ray?
Yep.
Someone like that.
This is one of my things now. Is that Tebow that said that?
No, the Essex Hammer said this one.
Essex Hammers. I'll tell you, this is one of the things that really annoys me about our club, and something I think we need to do a lot more of. There are absolute gems you can get in the Championship. Yeah. I think we don't do nearly enough mining of that league. I remember a couple of years ago, myself and there was others as well, crying out to the club saying, "Get Maddison." He was playing with Norwich. Get Maddison. Get Maddison. He's going very, very high up in this game. He's a huge talent. Get him. And then Leicester swoop for 20 million. Imagine what they get for him now. 20 million. We need to have scouts, and we need them a number of them in the championship, because it's not all about going out and spending 40 million, 45 million on
and
a
a lot
player.
of them are homegrown, like you're saying. So it would definitely help with on that side of things too, getting signed some homegrown players as well. But someone in the chat room mentioned Phillips, Calvin Phillips from Leeds. That's a good shout. Also, QPR has that easy.
Easy.
Yeah,
he
I like
looks
calling him
right.
easy, but yeah.
Yeah, he looks a player, doesn't he? We should be swooping
100%.
for. We should be swooping for people like them, like Bowen. I think Bowen is a tremendous player. I think you can pick up Bowen probably for 20 odd million.
Yeah, if you get rid of Yarmolenko and sell on Antonio, because he's like 37 years old too, according to his birth certificate, and his real birth certificate.
Somebody's gonna go get Bowen and pay 20 odd million for him. It won't be us, and then we'll be like Madison in a couple of seasons' time. We'll be saying, "Fuck me, we could have got Bowen for 20 million 2 years ago."
Well, with Bowen, I've heard Newcastle and Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester. See, Leicester are looking at Bowen. So that's Leicester all over. They see a player and they think, "Fucking hell, yeah, we'll have some of that."
Hell yeah.
And they just go and get them. And listen, what's the worst thing that can happen? Doesn't quite work out. You sell him for 14? Big shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this will just kill our monetization for the video, but as Xamra mentioned, that we did get Antonio from Forest, so there you go, and then also Cresswell from the Sheep Shaggers, as he calls them.
Ipswich. There are bargains to be had.
Oh yeah, Jude Bellingham in Birmingham. That's another one that not many people are aware of. That he's super young and
they're out there.
Massive future. He can play central and also across the board on the attacking midfield section. Yeah.
How do you reckon fans of football about taking them players like that? But because a lot of fans are bashing on at the board, about saying, "Well, where's our next level?" And if we go down to the championship, are they going to? The fans going to get on the board back saying, "Well, this is not next level players, is it?"
Well, there's two sides of that. So there's the fact that people would say that, okay, you're just preparing for championship, or that's just the disgruntled players, people. But the bottom line is, other people will look at it saying that, okay, well, they're building for the future. There you go. They're actually signing some decent talent that some could actually play in the Premier League today.
Yeah, they're good to go. Some of these players are ready. Yeah. Some of them are ready right now.
You always have a percentage of a fan base in football who will be the whiny sort. I don't think you can really care what a certain segment of supporters thinks. You just need to do what you need to do, like Leicester did, and they identify the players and they get them, and that's that.
Correct, David. And so we spent 45 million on Allaire, and what has he done?
Yeah.
So there's your flashy signing.
They love flashy signings, but to me, what's frustrating about Allaire is he's a certain type of player. He pairs well with another striker. Last year with Jovic, I believe his name is, at Eintracht Frankfurt, he had 13 assists, and they would just interplay off each other. They signed a 45 million player, but then they don't sign another striker to play alongside him to fit his strengths. And that's why he looks shocking to me, is because he had
waste of money.
That's what happens when you don't have scouts.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, pretty much.
Scouts profile players.
One in the Premier League and the most aerial duels lost, which shows it's being lumped to him all the time. And even if he wins it, he can't pass it to someone, and he's losing a lot too because they're sending it to him so often.
And his passing is awful.
Tommy and Ray, have you guys applied for the positions?
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Apply for the scouting roles because apparently they could use somebody in the Birmingham area, and they could also Liverpool area, and they could also use someone in Ireland. No,
I don't work for free, Tim.
No, I know. We talked about that.
They're only looking for volunteers, apparently.
I know. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we're almost at we're pretty much at an hour. I got to mention a few things. First and foremost, I got to thank Tommy and thank Tommy and Ray for staying up so late, and David for rushing in because I told him we were starting at 9.
No worries. I'm sorry, my computer crashed. It was not my control.
Ray's always up this late looking for bargain leggings.
I think that was the highlight of the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Only
And,
you know.
Well,
We don't want to know, Ray.
but listen, and also everybody that showed up in the chat room tonight, I definitely appreciate it every single time. I love looking over and seeing these comments and Foshizi, Neil from Down Under. There was actually a few from over that neck of the woods. There was AJ
there's
from
a lot of comments from Down Under.
Yeah, we had Alan Murphy on commenting via Facebook on from Australia. We had Neil from Australia, obviously, and then we had AJ from New Zealand, who's Kiwi Hammers. Tebow's up late as usual, and we had Liam, who's the co-host of American Hammers Radio, and we had Foshizi's. I love seeing Foshizi in there. Always get some clever stuff to say, and also Essex Hammers, man. I'm telling you, keep coming back. That's all I gotta say. I love your comments. So anyway, we do have shows tomorrow night, the following night, and then Friday Night Likes. If anybody's interested in joining Friday Night Likes who have not been on Friday Night Likes yet, reach out to us on social media and let us know. We have many Fridays open, and we'd like to make sure that everybody gets a shot at it, because as soon as we hit 18 winners, we're going to be splitting, creating a bracket of 99 and then doing shows that way and going inward. People like Baz Cox, Charlie Walsh, Ian Bishop, and
me.
Tommy, John Phillips, Alex from the guy who does our shop. I mean, there's a lot of cool people in there that are going to be coming back to do the tournament, which is going to be exciting. So get involved, and then once the tournament's over, we're going to start it up all over again with new and fresh faces, and also bring back some of the previous guests. So anyway, there's that. We got Leicester on Wednesday, and I hope you guys enjoy that, because we're going to whip their ass, and that's it. Leicester's going to be in the bottom half of the table by the end of the season. Quote me on that. I swear to God. If it happens, somebody owes me a coffee. All right? So, some of that good stuff. Some of the Strava craft. Some Strava craft. You guys remember that. But anyway, so tomorrow night we're going to be interviewing at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be interviewing Mark from Columbus C13. Wednesday night we got we're going to be interviewing a guy from Arkansas, and then on Thursday night I have no idea, and then Friday nights we got Friday Night Likes, and then Sunday we got a couple interviews as well, and all that good stuff. So lots and lots and lots of stuff. We just keep on plugging away, and thank you. Please, if you haven't already, hit the like button for us. Show us that you actually enjoyed the content. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you're checking us from, if you're watching this from Periscope over there on Twitter or Facebook, please hop on over to YouTube and search American Hammers TV and click the subscribe button for us. We really appreciate that. We definitely broke 1,000, which is great. If you can believe it, we're almost at our year anniversary. We're going to do something special for our year anniversary. We haven't quite decided yet, which is Deadline Day, January 31st. I can't believe we've been doing this for a year. But 14,000 hours watched. People have watched over 14,000 hours of our content, which is just mind-blowing to me, So there has been some good stuff in there. And also, let us know what your favorites were. Just comment on this video or any other videos, or hit us up on social media and say, hey, you know what? I liked one of those old interviews you did. Or let us know what you want to see more of. If there's any ideas you guys got going forward, because we're working on a few new shows that's going to replace this one, since this is pretty much Week in Review Part 2. But I enjoy my time with these guys, and I hope you guys do too. So show us your appreciation if you enjoy all these guys staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning, even later sometimes, to hang out with us. And yeah, David hung over from the Method Man concert last night, Red Man. Thanks for coming on. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys off the air, but
nice to meet you, Tony. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Forever blowing bubbles, baby.